No?
Does it say we're live?
Yes, live.
All right, we are live.
Hi.
Hi.
Happy
Well,
Friday
we're
the
gonna
13th.
watch it because it's not saying it's live on my end, but it says we're recording, so I hope we are. We shall see. Welcome. We're using this thing, and sometimes for whatever reason, maybe I need another browser refresh. I don't know. We shall see. But it's good to see everybody. Happy Friday. If you are coming in, we oh wait, it tells me to refresh my page, but I'm not sure. All right, well, let's go ahead because I'm not
Do
seeing
it.
anybody joining.
We're gonna chalk it up to Friday the 13th nonsense.
Oh my, I cannot believe I did not
Yeah,
notice it was Friday the 13th.
totally is.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing anybody joining.
Refreshed.
So let's refresh. All right, let us see. Oh, yes, we have someone. Someone. Some Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Oh, instead,
Jeremy,
Brave
welcome.
Souls. Brave Souls.
Hey.
So now it says it's live on my end.
Okay.
So maybe it was.
It may have already been. We don't know.
It may have already been.
It's
Good
okay.
gracious. Friday the 13th. Yes,
The kind one.
that is what it is. Well,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, Melissa. And thank you everybody for being here on Friday. This is our kind of forum chat day. We are here to answer your questions, talk
Indeed.
about voiceover,
Indeed.
all that jazz,
Yep, yep.
drink coffee out of our coffee cups.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Mm.
got my Poe mug for
Oh,
Friday the
very nice.
13th.
Yes, yes,
That
yes.
was not
Absolutely.
intentional. Just got right
I'd
by
say on a side note, or waiting for questions and everything, I had gone down the rabbit hole. There's so many amazing science fiction stories that are coming available in
it.
the public domain. A lot of because for the time period we are, and it's I don't know if that just means we're getting old, but like it seems as time goes on, you're like, wait a minute, I remember. Or at least, I remember these things or I know these things and these stories. And so, like, a lot of things that are happening from a science fiction standpoint as we got closer to as a country
Sure.
going to the moon and starting the space race and things. It's interesting to see like in the 50s how much probably the sci-fi genres and the stories, you know what I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
probably led to that feeling of we need to
That makes sense.
advance, because art does, art has a way of um not only just recording a lot of emotions and feelings and things that are going on, but also can push uh you know certain directions of society and
I
things.
mean, Orson Welles is a great example. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, how many books are published on, um, yeah, on Academy Voices right now? What's the count up to?
So we were like, I think it's up to 320, and we are
Which is
having.
wild because last week it was 306, I think you said.
Yes. Well,
So,
yeah, we are we we have a lot of audiobooks that are being worked on to be they're already ready to
mhm.
be published. We're just going through all of the different I think different steps to get them
Yeah.
up. So we've got a lot more, and even more so. But the thing with the sci-fi stuff is exciting just because I love these stories and they're short.
Mhm.
So they're under 10,000 words. So they're between like 5,000 and 10,000 words. So they're under an hour, but they're just great stories. A lot of fun to do. Quick hitting stories, and people enjoy them, and people do. What's interesting is I don't think people realize how many people go to libraries. Maybe they do go to libraries and they check out. A lot of people think sales come just from someone going to Audible and buying them,
Mm.
but a huge chunk of all of our revenue comes from libraries
Hmm.
and people checking out because every time someone goes and checks out something digital from apps like Hoopla and Biblioteca, excuse me, and these things like that, we get revenue,
That's cool.
right? We get paid for it. You know what I mean? And yeah,
I
and
did
because
not know
most
that.
people, their libraries give them like 5 to 10 checkouts a month that they can
Right.
do. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people who love these genres and they search and they find stories, and it's an exciting thing, and especially with these stories
A
because since they come
digital
available.
library. That's really That's really neat.
Yeah, we get. I mean, we get a lot of revenue from libraries
Hmm.
across the country. Not just that, but in other parts of the world too. We there's other libraries that we
Wow.
and we're trying to now. So I'm very happy about it. We have about 3 or 4 audiobooks that have been translated in French and Spanish, and we're
Mhm.
trying to get more done. You
And
know,
how many voice actors, how many voice actors are in Academy Voices currently?
we have about 220
Nice. Nice.
or so, and that's a you might think, well, that's a lot, and it's actually not. Because what it is that you have, everybody's busy, right? I mean, you think
Yeah.
about how many people can't do, they're not available, they're here, they're there, you know
Yeah.
originally we started out with under 100, but we had to really get more because we didn't have enough people
Well,
to
and at
keep
the
up with the
rate,
demand.
yeah, at the rate you're putting out material, it's wild. So we actually
Hmm.
have a couple of questions.
All
Alex,
right, good
Alex
deal.
is
So,
asking, how does one become a voice artist? Oh, you skipped to Melissa. Never
oh, wait,
mind.
wait,
I,
was
I
somebody
skipped
before
Melissa.
that?
I was gonna no, no, no. I'm skipping
Oh.
ahead and I'm gonna go back to Melissa. Sorry.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Wait. So we're gonna go to Alex first.
Alex said, I'm staying on topic is all. He said,
Gotcha.
how
Okay.
does one become a voice artist with Academy Voices? I know you've talked about it, but does one have to be a member of VO Journey?
That is a
Um,
fantastic
it
question.
is. It is.
Yes. No, you
Nope.
do not need to be a member of VO Journey to be a part of Academy Voices. So it's literally academyvoices.com. You go there, hit the get started button, and follow
Yep.
the instructions.
It is a
And
separate entity.
yes.
However,
However,
if you are a member of VOJ, then you get a membership to Academy Voices for free.
hmm
Yep.
absolutely, absolutely. One cool thing about what we do as well too, I is like we use. I wanted us to be able to use YouTube as well for revenue and revenue sharing with voice actors. I mean, the whole idea of Academy Voices was originally set up because I wanted to bring a way for people in VO Journey Academy who were educating themselves and learning to actually get work. I mean, I've been in education my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing that education, you know, doesn't do per se is, we educate the best of our ability, and then we're like, go into the world and good luck to you, scoot around, scoot on, let's go, and you're like, thank you, goodbye, goodbye, and then and then it's
Yeah.
just like, I'm in the world alone, and so I wanted to create something where people had the ability to get work while they're being
Mhm.
educated. And that in college, my professor where I went to college, he had created a children's theater touring group, and we toured around
Mm,
the country while we were in college.
that's
And
great.
it was we weren't paid. It was a part of being in college, but it was
Mhm.
the neatest thing because I got to perform. So like in a summer, I would perform like 100+ shows in one summer, and
Mm.
touring around main stage shows, but touring around to different states, and
Oh,
and
wow.
it really changed my whole. I think because most voice actors or most actors in college, they don't even get to start really performing until they're junior or senior because they're low man on the totem pole, and there's all this stuff, and then they might get into one or two main stages their whole entire time in college.
Right.
So I had upwards of 1,000 different performances I had been in by the time I graduated, and I thought the difference in experience changed. So anyways, with Academy Voices,
Yeah,
I
that's
wanted.
talking some serious stage
Yeah, I
hours. Wow.
wanted to have that, and it's been fantastic. Really has been, and now we're growing beyond just. So we were started out as public domain books and things like that, but also trying to do a variety of different things. Like we published the Red Record recently, so anyone knows about that. That was a
Mhm.
historical account during African American History Month, and that was a very graphic historic account. We're very into publishing all sorts of audiobooks and things, and history is very important to me. But the reason I bring that up too is because we also have authors. So authors have started to come and they bring their books. So we do per finished hour work as well as royalty share, which makes us unique because we're pretty much the only one else who does that besides ACX
Mm.
when it comes to royalty share and stuff. And what we do is, and this is funny because so many people have a bad taste in their mouth because of royalty share because of ACX. But the books that we publish, especially from the public domain stuff, these books sell because they're great books. So, anyways, yeah, good question. Let's see. Did
So
you want to keep
yeah,
going
let's
on the audiobooks one, or do you want to
go.
answer Melissa's?
I don't know. We can skip around. Let's talk to Melissa.
Okay, Melissa
Um,
put up, should women be careful about adult content voiceover offerings, even if the money is incredible? Well, I mean,
yeah.
that's a lot of audiobook stuff, right? I mean, that's,
Yeah.
what do you think, Gabby?
Well, so it's funny. We talked about this a little bit at Vojo last night. So or afternoon. I don't know why I keep saying that. It was yesterday afternoon.
What is
Um,
Vojo,
but
Gabby?
so it's Voiceover Journeys women's group. We call it the sorority, and it's VO Journeys outspoken women. And we had a pretty frank discussion about voiceover scams and sexism and some of the different things that go on that are really specific to women in those areas, obviously.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, the thing about, the adult content is some of it is very legitimate work.
Mhm.
And the companies that put out the adult content, erotica and audiobooks, um, they're they're very upfront, right, about what they do. They're very aware of the fact that it's not for everybody. And when typically they themselves they don't approach voice actors. It's usually that a voice actor is answering an audition for a not safe for work type of project,
Right.
and then engaging in that company. But erotica is big business. A lot of my voice actor buddies who do audiobooks, the voice actors in audiobooks that are making bank are the
Yes. Yeah.
ones that do a lot of erotic
Well,
content.
and I hate to
Yeah.
say, I have to say too, at Academy Voices, we many of our newer authors,
Mhm. That's what they
we
do.
have, their erotica type books, and
Yeah.
they sell very well,
Yes.
and
So
that's,
it's a personal preference.
yeah.
Now, can you just pass? Of course you can. Of course you can. I am the pass queen. I
Hmm.
have, my agents come to me with things and I'm like, "Nope, not for me. Pass.
Hmm.
Pass." Like I don't sometimes I just don't even bother, right? I think just we don't have to say anything. We just don't answer the audition. We just don't
Right.
engage the project. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's totally, totally an acceptable thing.
I
You know,
totally chickened out myself. I'd gotten an offer for one, and I
I just
was
can't do
like,
it.
because I was auditioning for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even think I looked. I was just auditioning for everything, and I got an offer for one, and then I looked through it, and the author, she was like, you have a great voice for this. I've got a 5 book series. And then at that time, we had a
Mm-hmm.
very small
Mm-hmm.
house. It was our first house, and I like my kids were
Oh
like
no.
younger,
Oh
and
no.
they were like, and I was always afraid that they
Right.
would come in
Yeah.
and be like, what do you do? What? So I said no. I was too embarrassed myself to do it. But I work with a lot of people who do it, and
Yeah.
they do fantastic. And I can tell you this, it's like nursing. You're never not gonna have a job. You
I
you wouldn't
I'm
look at
with
it that way.
you. I can't do it. I just get the giggles. I turn into a
Yeah.
14-year-old boy. I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't do it. But I will say if you are a guy and you are capable
Oh,
and
good
oh
good
my
point.
god.
Right now, the big trend is, and you're seeing it, and especially with this one, is dual narrators,
Mhm.
especially in this
There's not enough men.
category. And it's usually,
Yeah.
the female narrator is the main character, and then there's the
Mhm.
man who plays the man.
But there's also
And
just
right.
not historically, there's not been enough
Oh
men
gosh.
in this
And
genre.
every place in theater,
Mhm.
there's never been enough men.
Yeah. So,
But good question. Let's
mhm.
see. Next one
Uh,
was, oh wait,
oh, from
Kent.
Kent.
All right, Kent
Hello. Here's my
says
friend.
audiobooks really seem like a tough road based on per finished hour. How do you reconcile the time investment versus commercial rates? Feels painful to finish a 4 to 6 hour book. I think that's, well, one great, great question, because
Mhm.
I do think that that's a common decision that a lot of voice actors make. Do I want to
Mhm.
spend that time doing this, or do I want to get a faster, per se, commercial like job? Now, here's what I was saying to Gabby, I'll leave with you, because we do both things here. I kind of make the joke sometimes that in a perfect world, you would pull up your email and the commercial jobs would be there. You do your jobs, you go to bed, get up, and they just magically show up.
Yeah.
And it's every single day they show up for you, Monday through Friday, not on Saturdays because Sundays because you get the weekend off. And then it just magically happens. You don't have to spend a god awful amount of time marketing and trying to get those jobs, right? That's perfect world. Whereas audiobooks, right, you spend a lot more time working on doing them, but
Mhm.
the work is a lot quicker to get,
Mhm.
right? So if do you see kind of where I'm
Mhm.
going with
Mhm.
this? There always seems to be a trade-off of time, and it really determines how you measure your time. Do you measure, is it, like so that's my point of view. So sometimes when you measure it out, you'll find that, oh wait, it took me umpteen weeks to get this job. You know what I mean? Now there will be a level of how, like, if it's, what type of job. So
Right.
that's why I kind of argue, let's do both. That's my humble opinion. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's my. What do you think, Abby?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of voice actors who would rather be working than not working. So
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
between commercial bookings, they're
Yes,
happy to do audiobook work because they feel productive and they feel fulfilled and they feel like they're, continuing their craft versus just waiting.
mm-hmm.
Right? That can be really painful for some people. So it's a momentum thing and it just keeps them going. There's also some voice actors who start to pursue within the audiobook genre working with a very specific genre of audiobook or a specific author, and they're able to over time, right, increase those earnings and maximize those earnings, and then that per finished hour starts to improve significantly.
I agree.
Um,
I agree.
Another thing that starts to happen over time for audiobook narrators is you farm out the production, which is the time suck, right? That's really the
Yes.
thing that for most of us is so painful. And when you farm that out to somebody who that's all they do, and they're going to be a lot quicker and a lot more efficient, you're able to just focus on the voicing. And
Yes.
even though you're paying somebody else and it cuts into your profit a little bit, it actually works out to the better for you
Right,
in
because
the
you
long
can
run.
have
Mhm.
2, 3 more books done as opposed to just one.
Yep.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I think that's great. Okay, let's
Oh, we have somebody, hello from an
Oh yes, here we
Italian
go.
colleague, piacere.
Hello.
I love you all. First of all, I'm totally against doing this. What do you think about the intentionally cloned voices?
Well, it's good to have you. We did last week. It was so cool. If you get a
Mhm,
chance, you could go back and look at some of those videos too, because we talked about AI.
mhm.
So, what do you think, Gabby? When you
Yeah,
say intentionally, do you mean
mhm.
like they're taking your voice against your will and doing it? Is
Mm.
that what, or do you mean like we intentionally as voice actors let them clone our voice? I'm
Both.
assuming they mean
Yeah.
like that people are like
Yeah,
stealing it.
yeah, I mean, but
It
you're
can
right. It
happen.
it could also be the people, the voice actors who kind of volunteer
Mm.
to allow their voices to be cloned, depending
Oh, I see
on
what you mean. So that's a
yeah.
big thing, right? Because a lot of these places will
Mhm,
come to us and say, "Hey, come and clone your voice,"
mhm,
and you can sell your cloned voice as
yeah.
well.
Both are not great. It's
Mhm.
not good. I mean, no
Mhm.
matter what. Yeah, we spent a lot of time talking about this last week and about AI, and what's going on with AI in relation to voice actors. But definitely, if you give us a little more insight into that question, we might be able to elaborate. But for sure, I
Yeah.
think the voice actors that are selling their voices, I hope, like, I mean, fingers crossed, right, that they're doing everything correctly and they're safeguarding their future and they're not gonna get taken advantage of, but I think it's too early to tell. That's the
Mhm.
scary part.
Mhm.
And as far as the companies that are thieving our voices, well, yeah,
Yeah.
big F you to them.
Yeah. You wanna know something funny, Gabby? I thought about you today earlier. So I think it was yesterday? Was it so if you guys watched yesterday, Gabby had brought that news
Mhm.
about the big lawsuit that started with
Yeah, Disney and
Disney
Universal.
and against Midjourney. And today I was looking on TikTok and I saw a video of, I don't know who did it, but it was AI, and they took
Mm,
Harry Potter and made it into like this Western story. But here's the thing: it was all AI, but it was legitimately them. I mean,
mhm,
it was their likeness.
mhm.
It was all the characters, and that was not done by whoever holds. I know that was not done because it says AI and stuff on it. So I just made me think of you. I mean, they just stole that likeness and used that, and they had like, I'm sure they had millions because it had like 460,000 likes. So that usually means they got millions and millions and millions of views, right? So they just took that, and if they were making money from that, I mean,
Yeah,
that's real thievery.
yeah.
You're right, because
You're
because the
you're
pictures were
stealing,
exactly them. It
yeah,
was not a
you're stealing the
a fake
intellectual
like a.
property of the holder, of the copyright
Mhm.
holder. You're
Mhm.
stealing the characters licensing, you're stealing the face of the actors. I mean, it's gross all around.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so
Egregious.
we've got some more
Um,
questions here. Melissa says,
Melissa
do
is
audiobook
uh,
companies use contracts, and does it include the AI
oh, I think she
writer
means writer.
language? So,
Yeah.
for us, an Academy Voices, you better believe we do. Absolutely, we do. So yes, and we do it a couple different times. So people just are super sure that we are aware and that you have to play by the rules. But other places, unfortunately, I don't. We would hope they do. But unless you go, I'm not like too. There's a bunch out there. When it comes to like ACX,
Yeah.
they are in a tough spot because Audible and Amazon are actively promoting their AI voices, right? And they even came out recently. There's a big
Right.
thing where they came out saying that they are going to like turbocharge their recordings of AI for stuff. I mean, and I'm trying to, none of us want to buy it. I don't
Mm,
know why they feel it, but I think what they're trying to do is they are trying to keep up with the AI content that is being created, right? Because a lot of people are creating AI books, and no one us voice actors don't want to narrate. It's very evident when you get an
oh,
AI book. Like,
yeah.
it's not good.
Yeah, it's
It's just
crap.
not good.
It's
And you
so
think
bad.
no one's gonna ever read this, but because those little things that come out and are like, you can create a book in 1 minute or less, and and like, I mean, but people are doing it thinking that you just gonna, just like when that woman. Do you remember that woman who came out? They had that commercial about you can make all this money on ACX recording audiobooks on your cell phone, and dude, they ran that huge ad
Yeah.
forever,
Yeah.
and these people were thinking, well, I'm going to make money on like creating books on my cell phone. And it's like, no, what? I mean, they just
Mhm.
took you for so much money. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, but we do.
Yeah.
And I know, I'm sure other companies do, but yeah, I'm not sure. You had, so good point. Read all of
For
them.
sure.
Um,
One last question. It looks like to round us out for Friday. Nicholas, oh, says I was a member of the VO Academy back in last December, January. I had to take a break from working on VO for a while to handle some stuff. Finally ready to get back into it. Hell yeah, man.
Yay!
Come on back, Nicholas.
That is awesome. We'd love to have you
We're
back.
excited to see you, and we've
Absolutely.
got a lot of new things happening at VO
Yes.
Journey Academy.
This is a good time too because we have our
Exciting
new
new
kind of semester
semester.
starting
Yeah, starting
in
in
July.
July.
Well, thank you guys so much. Really great questions today.
Yeah.
Really loved it. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Remember, happy Father's
Happy
Day
Father's
to that
Day.
out there, and we will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Let's